What does it mean to do for others what they cannot do for themselves? For one remarkable woman in Guyana, it is the creed that guides her life and defines her mission. Meet Marcia Smith, a gifted teacher, recognized as a special person for her dedication to ensuring that persons with disabilities find their rightful place in society. Her quest wasn't born in a textbook. It was born in her own home, inspired by her son, Jared, who was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. Her passion led her to found the Gifted Hands Learning Center for Special Needs. Marcia's motto is, characters doing for others what they cannot do for themselves, because God is watching, not man. Today we witness how that character is transforming a nation through inclusive education, one child at a time. This is the story of a mother, a principal, and an unwavering advocate who is truly beating the odds.
My name is Marcia Smith. I am the mother of four, founder of Gifted Hands Learning Center for Special Needs. I am, like I said, I'm the founder of Gifted Hands Learning Center for Special Needs. I am the mother of many children. I have children in all walks of life. Most of all, my students, they are my children, and Gifted Hands has become a part of my life. I'm here as early as 7:50, between 7:15 and 7:30. I am the first to get here and the last to leave at probably 4:30 in the afternoons. Yes. Well, I have four children. My eldest she lives in the US, and my last son, who is on the autism spectrum, he is my inspiration into special education needs. He is the driving force behind everything you see here. Not only having him as a son, but my life. He's now 20 years old, and I'll tell you more about him with his permission on a feature with him. Gifted Hands opens the door on April 16, 2012. Our first location was in Kingston. Subsequently, in 2020, we lost everything in the fire. And then that was in the height of the pandemic. And we opened our doors looking for a place after the pandemic. And we got a garage in Campbellville, which we were asked to remove by the owners. That was a long story that the lawyer called and said, you need to vacate the place. But that was okay. I think that was my stepping stone to move to a place, a safe space for my students. And after writing 12 letters, I got 12 no's. And then one day I spoke with Reverend Dr. Neil Chase, and by the time I told him, I'm looking for a space, he was like, yes. And that was the one yes. This is how we're here. And I am grateful to him and his team for giving us that one yes. It's been a long journey, He attended the mainstream nursery primary school, but even though his earlier years, he never said words until he was 7 years old. And yes, he was diagnosed with autism. He attended the mainstream primary, which the head teacher then was Miss Jennifer Cumberbatch. And I, mother and advocate for children with disabilities, I decided, no, I have to be my son's voice, because there was no voice. He was bullied, yes. He lost his front teeth from bullying. Couldn't say who did it because there was no speech. I said it's a long road, a journey that we walk together hand in hand. I never give up on him, never. I did everything to see him get an education. He wrote the National Grade 6. Yes, he went to St. Barnabas Special School. Yes, after 1 year at the St. Barnabas Special School, I was the head teacher then, Ms. Passad. She recommended that I take him to the mainstream secondary school, where he was accepted into Kingston Secondary School. He was privileged to write CXE, 8 subjects, and he got 4 3s, 3, 4, and a 5 in maths, which he wasn't pleased with himself. But I must say thank you to the Ministry of Education, Dr. Chung and his team, who were a part of seeing him go through lessons, the core subjects. I sit with him in every lesson. So he's now on a training course. Like I said, don't let me say everything right now about him. The time will come when he will have his piece to say. But the journey has not been easy. Throughout his journey, I took him to every post. I said, well, if this child can't learn academically, there was no sign that my child was going to ever be able to write CXC. Yes, but he did it. Sat among I think it was 13,640 students that wrote that year. Yes, he was one of them. And he learned to swim. He's a second dan karateka. Yeah, I never give up on him. Never. Yeah. He's my inspiration into special education needs because I was exposed to many learning. There were courses, there was a parent support group and, meeting several different people. I decided, look, if, I am going to work with some children, then to see how best they can thrive, because they are all gifted in their own way. It's not about academics, but there's a gift in every child. And I wouldn't say I am the ideal person to find that gift, but at least I can help them to tap into their gifts and then have their parents to be a part of what I would have experienced with them, to encourage them. This child is gifted in so many ways, but because I wouldn't say they are the forgotten society, persons with disabilities, because Guyana has signed on to the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, and that act was signed on by the Vice President. And there's lots of things in that act. I think you should have a look at it, where persons with disabilities are entitled to. I am an advocate, I am a mom, and I like to see things being done for persons with disabilities. Gifted Hands alone has been run by me. Don't ask me how I do it. Don't ask me, I had to get my financial statement. And my auditor looked at me and she was like, what do you work for? I said, I work because I love what I do. I love it. And it's not about the money, but it's a joy in welcoming the students every day. Every day. Yeah, here is rented. Yes. One person asked me, Marcia, how are you going to pay that rent? I said, you don't worry. I will ask 5 friends to help me. You don't worry. And that will cover my rent. I will not disclose the amount. I opened with 8 students. After the pandemic, I started back with 5. Mm-hmm. Yes, when we closed before the pandemic, I had 28 students. Mm-hmm. Yes, and then the pandemic came, and then after the pandemic, parents had no money, so, it was a real challenge, but I'm grateful. God has been guiding me all along. I have 17 students unregistered, but not on every given day we have all 17 at school, because they have their challenges, their parents have their challenges in getting them to and from school. But some, yes, they are present every day. And they're my best students because I look forward to seeing them and they look forward to seeing us. Everything. Holistically, everything. They love seeing their friends, and as much as they have their differences, I wouldn't say challenges, I would say differences. They look forward. So when they look around and they don't see a child, they're like, "Miss," and they will go to the chair. "Didn't come?" I said, "No." And one especially, he come and say, "Call them." I was like, "No, I'm not calling anybody today." Well, I follow the Ministry of Education curriculum. There's a special needs curriculum that I follow. To be honest, I don't follow it as I should, but because I believe in reinforcement, and you cannot cover one lesson in 1 week or 1 day. No, because they need reinforcement. And because they might be present today and then tomorrow they're absent, no, I can't go forward. For me, it's unfair to the student. Each child learns at their own pace. And in order for them to grasp the concept of anything, you have to do repetition. And on Fridays, we meet for swimming. But Monday to Thursday, we're here. And then on Fridays, we meet at Coloring Pool. Marcia, you have a tough job getting help. I said, "Yeah, I know. I've been there, done that." Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's only a talk shop. "Marcia, how are you?" I just, explained to you with mm-hmm. the rent, but it's like, how are you going to do that? Nobody is offering, assistance, but they ask questions. They tend, "How are you going to do that?" "Yeah, my job is not finished here. Yes, I have 2 other jobs that I do, on part-time." So Gifted Hands, even though it's my life, I will say, when it comes to the finances, it's different, but I love what I do. I find satisfaction every day. People in general just, they come to you with this whole sympathetic point. "Oh, I'm sorry, but you're doing a good job." Mm-hmm. And that's about it. Nobody tends to say, "Okay, in what way can we help these children?" Some are very, very challenging. Yeah, because I have one little girl. She's only here with me from when we reopened in September. But really and truly, yeah, they have their challenges. They have their challenges. And some serious challenges too, because I have 17 students. I have 17 stories that I carry every day. Yeah. It's my dream to not only have them as students, but have them as employees. On our next project, I will not say what that project is because of mm-hmm. I say no more on that. My next project is to have them not only come to school, but have them come to work, where they can earn, right? It's not only coming to work, coming to school, where they can learn and earn. Is there anyone who's willing, I don't want to say partner with the school, but who's willing to sponsor a child at school? Mm-hmm. Ensuring, or if the governments want to give the school a bus where the children can be picked up, because transportation is one of our main problems that we have with children reaching to school. Because if I can do it, pick up, drop off, it will be the smoothest transition from home to school, but I can't. I'm not in the capacity to do it. I always had two, but then one went over to nations. And then because the children are able-bodied, most of them, only two of them you have to feed and they're in Pampers and you have to change. But they all can help themselves because they're young adults. It's just two smaller ones, and they all can speak for themselves. I mean, to a level that we can understand, but it's been always me, and my second daughter has been working from the time I opened Gifted Hands. Yeah, teacher is my second daughter, yeah. She's my right hand, my senior teacher, my assistant, even though sometimes when anyone reach out, it's like, Miss, Miss, somebody's going to call me, so, why you didn't say? She said, Miss, no, I tell them to call you. Miss, right? Yeah. So I am known as Miss. I often tell the children my name is Marcia because they already have their challenges. And, you know, when anybody asks, what's your teacher's name? They must not say Miss. You know, I think it's okay to call me Marcia. I don't have no chips on my shoulders, no. You know, when they, you know, people might say, you know, she's not a trained teacher. No, I am not. But mothers are our first teachers. Yeah. Oh, mothers are our first teachers. I would love to have a play with them at the Theatre Guild or the National Cultural Center to see them perform, see their gifts explore, because they can dance, I can tell you that. They can sing, they can pray, they know how to do it. And that's where their gifts lies. But then their parents, it's not about academics. This Gifted Hands is registered with the Ministry of Education as a private school. Yes. I don't know if there is any funding that the ministry has to tap into where the teachers can be paid. But I have the curriculum, yeah. I also do recommendations to parents for children who are challenged, who have disabilities. I make recommendations to the special education needs officers at the Ministry of Education, because where we are right now in this country, lots of parents are in denial. The signs are there with their child, but guess what? I am not ready to accept that my child is having some difficulties. I will say difficulties. I don't want to say disabilities, because I'm not a medical person to tell you your child maybe or maybe not is on the spectrum, or your child have some ID, which is intellectual disability. No, I do recommendations. I have very dear friends who are doctors at Georgetown Hospital, the neurologists and the psychologists. You know, I can reach out to them any hour. They give me permission to reach out to them when it comes to my students. And then I'm grateful for them, really, really grateful. You know, out of their busy schedule, at nights they respond, and then say, you know, this is not my trial alone. I need your help. And I don't do it often, but whenever I reach out, they know that Marcia don't always ask favors, which is something I detest, asking favors.
From the personal challenge of her son Jared's diagnosis, Marcia built a sanctuary, the Gifted Hands Learning Center, a place where children with ASD, Down syndrome, and other challenges are not just taught academics, but are given the essential life skills to thrive. Marcia is more than just a principal. She is a champion for acceptance and a living testament to her own philosophy. Her efforts ensure that her students are not forgotten, but are instead recognized for their gifted hands and their immeasurable potential. Thank you for joining us on Beating the Odds. We'll see you next time.